Sri Lanka President Rajapaksa to resign after palace stormed. Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has announced he will step down after protesters stormed his official residence and set the Prime Minister's house on fire. Neither the PM nor the President were in the buildings. Hundreds of thousands descended on the capital Colombo, calling for Mr. Rajapaksa to resign after months of protests over economic mismanagement. Mr. Rajapaksa will step down on 13 July. PM Vikram Singhe has agreed to resign. Parliamentary Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene said the President decided to step down to ensure a peaceful handover of power. I therefore request the public to respect the law and maintain peace, he said. Just hours earlier, Ranil Vikreme Singhe's home was on fire after protesters broke in and set it alight. Videos circulating on social media show flames lighting up the night sky. Crowds had earlier overrun the official residence of Mr. Rajapaksa, lounging in its staterooms and jumping in its pool. The country is suffering rampant inflation and is struggling to import food, fuel, and medicine. Large numbers of protesters traveled to the capital from across the country, with officials telling AFP news agency that some had even commandeered the trains to get there. Mr. Rajapaksa vacated his official residence on Friday as a safety precaution ahead of the planned protests, the defense ministry source said, according to Reuters. The BBC has been unable to confirm the president's whereabouts. A source close to the PM said he was in a safe place. Protesters made their way towards the president's residence on Saturday morning before breaking through barricades. Hundreds of protesters made their way into the house, chanting slogans and waving the national flag. Footage on social media soon showed people roaming through the house and splashing in the pool. Some could be seen emptying out a chest of drawers. Although it is Mr. Rajapaksa's official residence, he usually sleeps at a separate house nearby. Similar scenes could be witnessed at the Prime Minister's house. His office later announced that he had agreed to resign to make way for an all-party government. Prime Minister Vikreme Singhe said he was willing to quit to ensure the safety of civilians. But soon after his announcement, videos started circulating of his house up in flames. The Prime Minister lives with his family in a private home known as the Fifth Lane. He used his official residence called Temple Trees for official visits only. Ousted in a day of folly. These are some extraordinary times for Sri Lanka. After a day of folly and violence, the two senior leaders of the country have agreed to step down. The news triggered jubilation at the main protest site in Colombo. The firecrackers were set off in many parts of the city. I am at the Gal-based protest site. Many protests have started returning home. Thousands are still present. Some have been singing and playing musical instruments, celebrating. A turnaround of events a few days ago, a photo of President Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Vikreme Singhe is now in Parliament was widely shared on social media. Many vented their anger, saying the two men appeared to be happy, while millions were struggling to eat 3 meals a day. But a week is a long time in politics. One protester, Fiona Silmana, who was at the protest at the president's house, said it was time to get rid of the president and the prime minister, and to have a new era for Sri Lanka. I feel very, very sad that they didn't go earlier, because had they gone earlier, there wouldn't have been any destruction, she said. Bhavani Fonseca, a prominent human rights lawyer in Colombo, warned that the president's announcement might not be enough to appease the people. The two regulations alone will not satisfy the demand of a system change, but at least this is a start. If the president and the prime minister depart, she said, there has to be a peaceful transition of power, which is yet to be seen. Last week, the authorities suspended the sales of petrol and diesel for non-essential vehicles in an attempt to preserve the country's dwindling fuel stocks. Sri Lanka, the basics. Sri Lanka is an island nation of southern India. It won independence from British rule in 1948. Three ethnic groups, nationalists, Tamil and Muslim, make up 99% of the country's 22 million population. One family of brothers has dominated for years. Mahinda Rajapaksa became a hero among the majority Sinhalese in 2009, when his government defeated Tamil separatist rebels after years of bitter and bloody civil war. His brother Gotabaya, who was the defense secretary at the time, is the current president, but says he is standing down. Now an economic crisis has led to falling on the streets. The soaring inflation has meant some foods, medication and fuel are in short supply. There are rolling blackouts, and ordinary people have taken to the streets in anger, with many blaming the Rajapaksa family and their government for the situation. The government has been trying to secure fuel and credit from countries including Russia, so far with no success. It has requested emergency financial help, and it blames the COVID-19 pandemic, which all but killed off Sri Lanka's tourist trade, one of its biggest foreign currency earners, for the crisis. But many experts say economic mismanagement is to blame. Demonstrations have taken place since March, demanding that President Rajapaksa quit. The deepening economic crisis saw the president's older brother, Mahinda Rajapaksa, forced to resign as prime minister in May.